John Bolton recently admitted, by the way, what a nutcase, but he recently admitted that he helped orchestrate coups all around the country on behalf of the U.S., all over the globe on behalf of the U.S. government. Question is, did the fruitcake ever think about a coup in the United States? My bet is yes, he did. What is your take on this?
This was such a stunning admission from Bolton here when he's, talking to Jake Tapper and says, I know a coup when I've seen it. I've orchestrated a couple coup d'etats in my day. And then Tapper said, whoa, let's
slow down there.
Hang on now.
Yeah.
So to his credit, Tapper did say, I feel like there's something you're not telling me. And Bolton then says, I assure you there is. I mean, my God, how are we not focusing on this story in the media every day? This is huge.
How about they never have? Okay, I mean, really, this has been going on with this guy. Look, there's never been a war that Bolton didn't want, didn't love. Russia, yeah, let's go after Russia. China, yeah, we need a war with China. Yemen, he was out front on Yemen. Syria, we need a war with Syria. Congo, yeah, we need to invade the Congo. Venezuela, we need to change leadership in Venezuela. And who does he do it for? He does it for all the corporatists, Raytheon and McDonnell Douglas and Boeing. Those are the people that he represents. And nobody seems to be able to connect the fact that the guy's a dangerous war pimp and he's still walking around in Washington respected. He's still showing up on the morning news Sunday mornings.
I know, and to feel confident enough to actually admit this. I mean, we've all known, those of us who understand 80s politics, going back to Iran-Contra, we know who John Bolton is. He was involved in that. He's been doing this for decades. But for him to now feel confident enough that I can go out there and sit on CNN and talk to the tens of people watching it and say, yeah, I did coup d'etats around the globe. What are you going to do about it?
In the Iran-Contra, I mean, his whole thing was we got to stop the Sandinista. We got to get involved. And the truth was, when you look back at it, it was a conflict almost completely driven by the United States.
Yeah.
And he was the guy behind it. But, CNN loves him. Sometimes count the number of times you will see this screwball on CNN where he's talking world policy. And he's used, and advertisers love him. Yeah. I mean, Boeing and Raytheon, McDonnell, they love this guy because he's the guy that's talking up war all the time, including the war that's going on right now in Ukraine. He wants to expand the war.
and CNN, when there's international conflict, that's about the only time they actually get ratings.
Yeah.
So that's why this guy works for them.
Yeah.
If he's out there pushing war, if they can get a war, CNN might, survive
war
another
sells.
day.
CNN is the worst of the worst where it comes to selling war, and this is their guy right here. The United States is falling dangerously behind in medical research as other companies make tremendous progress. Farron, this story about Cuban drugs that really are making a difference in Alzheimer's disease. Now, we compare that to what happened with Genentech and what happened with Biogen. Genentech and Biogen lied to the American public for a decade. They said, we have this great Alzheimer's drug. Even the clinicals were phonied up. But we know the Cuban drug really does work. I mean, the clinicals are, first of all, they're honest, nothing phonied up, and it's working.
Right.
Give me your take on this.
Cuba is now in phase 4
Yes.
of their drug trials for this Alzheimer's and Parkinson's drug because it's showing that, hey, it's stopping. It is stopping brain deterioration and helping people actually improve their cognitive functions.
Yeah.
That is amazing. They're almost, I don't want to give too much hope here, but it seems like they're almost reversing these conditions.
If you read the articles, you certainly looks like that.
Yeah, and then we, as you said, contrast this to the U.S., which, by the way, both of these stories came out within about 48 hours of each other, and nobody connected them.
No.
But the U.S., 20 years, our drug companies that we're funding through the National Institute of Health using taxpayer dollars, the phoning up was so bad, they weren't just lying about the results, they were photoshopping their own images of people's brains to show, oh, look, it got better.
Yes.
And then they finally looked and said, wait a minute, you just took a picture of a healthy brain and cut out that part and glued it on top.
There's a reason for all this, okay? And we have a 99% failure rate with 99% with American companies that are saying we're solving this problem. First of all, they started off with a lie. That's where this all begins. The big lie started off with phonied up research that was coming that said, look, if we can deal with the amyloid problem and the plaque problem, if we can reduce the amyloid problem in the brain and the plaque problem in the brain, we're going to cure it. They found out, no, it's not even accurate. They were said, we have a drug because we have reduced plaques and we have reduced the amyloid problem. But it had nothing to do in the long run with Alzheimer's.
Right. So they developed these drugs that attacked these issues that were not the issues.
Yeah.
And honest to God, the difference here, because it's not just Cuba, who also, by the way, has a lung cancer vaccine that we're in the U.S. not allowed to take. So they've got this, they've got the Parkinson's treatment, the Alzheimer's. South Korea has become a leader in medical development. China has taken over. Mm-hmm. It's because we are profit driven here in the United States. We let big profits. So instead of tackling the real diseases, what are our drug companies doing? Well, look at the ads on TV. Are you moving your leg a little too much while you sleep? Here's $500 a month for this drug. It'll stop your leg move. Are your eyes a little too scratchy every now and then? Those are the problems we're tackling while the rest of the world.
It's called corporate low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's one big difference. When the best article that I saw that analyzed this, they said, look, there's a research gap in America that there's not in some of these other companies, in other countries like Cuba. Because the research is driven by government. Government is hands-on on that research. Academic institutions are hands-on with that research. And then they tie up the idea that if we compare our kind of what you would call is the STEM system of education, where they found out now we don't teach calculus, we don't teach the kind of advanced biology that people need to have in school. We've cut back all of our hard sciences for the most part in public schools. And the list of comparisons between why we are where we are in the United States with corporate-driven research versus government/education-driven research is a big difference, isn't it?
Well, and these big pharmaceutical companies go out there, they headhunt these individuals, the smart folks, the scientists, and they say, hey, listen, you've got a very promising career ahead of you. How would you like to come make $300,000 a year, fresh out of school with your PhD? But instead of working on cancer, how about you work on this, a new antacid for us? We know there's a lot of heartburn medications, but you work on this one, we'll pay you a lot of money, you're going to be fine.
But in the end result, we're seeing more and more. It's kind of like the chickens have come home to roost, okay? And the end result is we're seeing a disaster where it comes to performance of drug after drug, medical device after medical device, and it needs to be rethought. Farron, thanks for joining me, okay?
Thank you.
That's all for this week, but all these segments are going to be available this coming week right here on this channel. And you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us at America's Lawyer. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where every week we try to tell you the stories that corporate media won't tell you because their advertisers won't allow for it, and sometimes their political connections won't allow for it. So we try to avoid all that. We call balls and strikes here. There is no side. There's no Democrat side. There's no Republican side. It is balls and strikes. It's not for everybody, but we hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next time.